All right.
CDA and 7GRS, copy.
Yes, Garrett. Copying you just fine. Are you copying on this side? Welcome, guys. Doing a little research, just kind of getting things ready to go. Stuart from the old country. How you doing, brother?
It's cutting out for you.
Oh, great. That sucks. Anyway, you think you might be able to jump on, is there a local node that's, that you might be able to redirect over?
Hey, Bob, you're coming through fine here. K87SQS.
All right, thanks, Lance. Yeah, Garrett, I don't know what to tell you. You might want to move your open spot over to a better spot, or I don't know. I don't know why it does that. Anyway, I'm gonna start the not starting the net yet, but I'm gonna start the live stream here. So I'm jumping on the live stream. Oh, already got a thumbs down. Oh, wonderful. All right, K6UDA. I'm going to go ahead and start the live stream now. And hey, everybody's welcome. K6UDA. We'll start the net in just a few minutes. All right. I want to welcome the guys in the gallery, in the peanut gallery. I'll talk to you guys for a few minutes here before we start the net, and I could give you my full attention. Stuart, my brother from another mother, out in Sacramento. Good to see you in here. Douglas V, amateur radio, and more. A YouTuber that mentions guns. Yes, I am a YouTuber that mentions guns and a lot more. Let's see. Oh, Denmark. Holy crap. Guys, we have DX. We have DX in the house. And getting a call. KB7SQS, K6UDA. What's happening there, my friend?
Not much. What are you live streaming on?
On my YouTube channel. I've got the Wires X screen up on their screen so they could see it. And it's basically for the guys who can't get into they can't get into the radio side on any of the 8 million ways that I have set up to get in.
Okay, yeah, I was just wondering because I couldn't find it on your channel, but I found it now. So, good to go, KB7SQS.
All right, sounds good. I'm going to start the net here in about, 8 minutes. And I'm just doing a little bit of research right now. A little last minute research.
K6UDA is KJ7 Aria. Everything's warmed up and running.
Beautiful. That kind of sounds like we got something going on. It might be coming from Ken's side. I don't know. Doesn't sound like it's coming from our side. There it goes. All back. All right. K6UDA, back to my homework here. Let's see.
K6UDA, KJ7 RAR. Where did you want to start this morning?
When or where? Terry, did you say when or where do I want to start?
No, what topic did you want to start with?
I think we're going to go for, I'm going to start out with what's in your bug-out bag kind of thing. And then we'll move right into the traveling and some of the states' gun laws.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, cool. I will talk to you in just a few. Garrett, was that you again? Hey, GRS, UDA, was that you? I heard your voice.
Yeah, this is N7 GRS. Can you hear me now? I switched my antenna.
Your beautiful signal now.
Yeah, I switched from the Nagoya to my signal stick.
Much better. What? All right, guys. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make a list. I'm gonna make a handwritten list of check-ins. And I will check y'all in on paper. And then I'll deal with it later. How about that? Let's see. and then the pen doesn't work right. Isn't that wonderful? That's friggin' awesome. Okay. So how many people do we have in the chat or in the room? Let's go back. Let me go back over to here. Looks like we got 15 people on board already. I got 10 thumbs up. Should have 18 people, 10 thumbs up. I'd like to have 18 thumbs up or more. That would be awesome. So do that now. Click, click, click. And I got to go back over to this screen here. Ron from Pennsylvania, KC3WBA. Beautiful. Thanks for playing there. And I need to get back to here. Maybe I need to just move that back. That might need to move right back to desktop 2. I don't know. Or desktop 3. Got 1 minute. 1 minute to go. Oh, look at that. Isn't that nice? What happened here? There it is. There it is. Let's see. I'm gonna hide that one. Okay. Are we ready? I think we're ready. Grab the mic and I'm gonna move it back over to here. Good morning, guys. Welcome to the Southern Idaho Preparedness Net. This net meets every Saturday morning at 0900 hours Mountain Time here on the K6UDA repeater located in Twin Falls, Idaho. This is to me, a digital-only net, but we do have a hook into the KB7 DFP repeater here in Twin. And he's got it rebroadcast in analog for those of you without a digital radio or a way to get in. This net is accessible outside the area from Wires X Room 40448. That is the Idaho command. And on YSF Reflector 56026. That's the YouTuber's YSF Reflector. It's also available on the Hanson Butte 2-meter fusion repeater on 145.170. And that will take care of about that. Let's see, the purpose of this net is the free exchange of information related to emergency preparedness, commonly known as prepping. We encourage deep dives into subjects related to food, water, shelter, personal protection, weapons, survival tactics, medical issues, communication and gear and techniques. I'm looking for subject matter experts to lead discussions on these various subjects because I don't want to be the only guy talking here, and I'm going to let this drop. So, if you have material that you'd like to present or discuss or ask a question, when you check in, please indicate it that you have a subject, i.e., like K6UDA with a subject. Although not primarily political, discussion of relative political, cultural, or religious events are welcome in the context of situational awareness and survival. We're going to have a different kind of a check-in order. I'm going to call first for local repeater check-ins. So if you're on the K6UDA repeater, or you're on the 170, the 170 repeater, or on the 44200 repeater, go ahead and you'll check in when I call for locals. If you're on Wires X, that means you're either coming in on the Idaho command, or you're hooked into the Idaho command on Wires X. When I call for Wires X check-ins, do that. YSF, the same thing. I will call for YSF. And then if you're just on the live stream, and I am live streaming this on the K6UDA YouTube channel, you can go ahead and leave comments with your check-in over there. You check in with your first name, your call sign, location, and how you're getting into the net, whether you're local, Wires X, YSF. That being said, local check-ins, local repeater check-ins. Good morning, Kelly. We have K7SU. More local check-ins. Okay, Wires X check-ins. Wires X. If you're on a Wires X node, go ahead and check in now.
GRS, this is Garrett from Eagle, Idaho.
KJ7 RAR, Terry, Twin Falls, Wires X.
KF0 KBP from Kansas. The handle here is Doug.
KBP.
KD8 IOK, Jeff, Yuma, Arizona, Wires X.
K6SAL, Bugout.
Okay. Man, that was a great run there. N7GRS, Garrett and Eagle, KF0 KBP in Kansas, KD8 IOK in Arizona, and K6SAL in Galt, my pal Sal. Any others on Wires X?
Bob, did you pick me up, KJ7RR?
Yes, I did. I got you in there, my friend. Hey, you help out with this thing, so you're in there before you're in there. Let's move on to YSF check-ins. If you're on a YSF node, go ahead and check in.
Brett, KCR, Jeff from New Jersey.
KD2 SCR. All right, got KD2 SCR, and then Sal broke in. Oop. shit. And how did this happen? All right. Okay. I just got disconnected and I'm back now. I got KD2 SCR and then Sal had a break. Go ahead, Sal.
Yeah, you need to acknowledge Doug. He's been trying to check in, and you haven't been hearing him.
Go ahead, Doug.
Give up. Whiskey 6 Delta Uniform Golf is in golf.
Okay. Thanks, Doug. Didn't hear you in there, and we'll go back to let's go back to YSF check-ins. Okay, that's a good first list. Great first list. Thanks for checking in, guys. And we'll go back to check-ins a little bit later. And let me move on down the thing. Yeah. For our first topic today, what's in your bug out bag? Question for the net, for a round table. Do you have a bug out bag or at minimum a get home bag? And what do you carry in that bug out bag? What do you carry in your bug out bag? Mine, I carry 2 MREs. I figure that's enough food to sustain me for about 3 days. A life straw, thermal underwear, wool socks, ammo for primary and secondary. I carry those in extra magazines, so it's already ready to go for my for what I'm carrying. Safety glasses, hearing protection, a jet boil with fire starters, multi-tool, an axe, a simple compass, a dry box with that compass on it is what I've got. First aid and meds, and then snacks, because food is always a great morale booster when you're in the field. Anybody else want to contribute? Want to tell me what, do you carry one? How religiously do you carry the bug out bag, and what's in it?
KJ7RAR.
Terry, go ahead.
I don't have a bag, but I do have a plastic tub. We keep it in the truck. And like you, I have some food that, I forget what I called it in the Army, but, the food that you cook up. I have a cooker with a small gas bottle. I have extra food and clothing for winter weather. And then I have another bag that's it's always in the truck, and it has tools of all kinds, hatchets, tools to make sure the truck runs good and all that. I even have a fold-up portable toilet, for the wife. But knife, fire starters, all that stuff. So, but I do have it in the truck, so if I need it, just hop in the truck and go, and it's all there. KJ7RAR.
Real good. Good place to start. Have you ever thought about what you would do if you had to end up on foot out of the car? You're, let's say, 50 miles from home, or 20 miles from home. What are you going to do if you have to bail out of the car for whatever reason?
Yeah, in my case, I probably would put what I need into a bag and take it along with me. A bag of which I do not have in the truck currently, but that is a good idea. So yeah, have something I could stuff in a bag and take it if I need it.
Yeah, and that's why I have a bug out bag. It's a larger backpack that I could carry more in, including a sleeping bag, poncho, and everything. And that was when I was in California, and I had a plan to bug out if things got real bad where I was, or for whatever reason I had to bug out. I also have a smaller backpack that I have what I call the get home bag. I have no plan to bug out of where I'm at. I'm fairly protected. I'm in a fire safe location here. I don't see the need to really bug out. I think it's a fairly defendable place. But I do travel, I travel around town. I travel, 50, 75 miles out of town, and there is the chance that something happens, an EMP or whatever happens. And I end up having to bail out of the car and work my way home through whatever. So I have a smaller bag made specifically to get home, to kind of keep me going for a day or two. I do have a comment here that I'm gonna go ahead and read. This is gonna be a good one, and I'll let it drop first. Where was I? Dylan on the live stream says he has a bulletproof vest, a helmet, extensive med kit, lots of mace gel, turnaround clothes, and up north cabin, electric fence looking, about 20 GMRS 5-watt radios, and a 25-watt HQ cabin. Oh, okay. Okay, he's talking about where his bug out location is, I think. Great. It sounds like a good, well thought out bug out location. I don't even want to know where you're at in the world. So don't even say it. But that's a good, it sounds like a good bug out location. How do you get there? That's the big question. If you've got to hoof it. Anybody else want to chime in? What's in your bug out bag? What do you think would be important to carry in a bug out bag or a get home bag?
W6. Toilet paper is a good option.
All right. Garrett N7GRS chimed in for toilet paper. I wouldn't want to make my entire bag full of toilet paper, but yep, that is a very good thing to keep in there, is some toilet paper. And Doug, I can always count on Doug for great insight into this stuff.
Thanks, Bob. I don't know that it's great insight, but my wife and I both have individual get-home bags in our vehicles, and they're just made out of a small backpack. Generally, and I don't have a list in front of me, but we have food and water, extra protection gloves. There's enough to go camping, and extra ammo and stuff for my firearm and her firearm. And we carry those in our car all the time. They're always in there. It's not meant to be more of a bug-out bag, but more of a I want to get home bag. Our bug-out situation is if we have to leave here, and we can take our fifth wheel, we'll take the fifth wheel. If we can't take the fifth wheel, then we have bins that we can put in the back of the truck or the Jeep, and that has food, water, camping.
Yeah, real good. That's that's great insight. And if you have the opportunity, if you've got things like an RV or a four-wheel drive that you could load more stuff into, and you've got that stuff organized, fantastic advice. My nightmare scenario has always been the EMP, and I've always kind of prepped for that EMP event, and that pretty much means that my the vehicle that I'm in generally is going to go dead unless I happen to have I used to have an older Jeep, and it had points and a condenser, and I kept extra points and a condenser in a Faraday cage, so if the big EMP hit, I could be back on the road, so to speak, in a matter of minutes. We got a couple of suggestions on the web here, or on the live stream. A disguise, a wig. I don't know if I would use my precious resources to keep a disguise in the car or in my get home bag. Motrin, yes, definitely. Painkillers, a better medical kit. I want a medical kit that I can treat myself for a gunshot wound, for a fall down a small cliff, or something that really is going to take some medication and some know-how to get you. I don't want to say back on the road, but keep you alive. Duct tape. Here, that's another good one. Duct tape is kind of the all-around. What do you call it? It's the all-around survival tool. Let's see. Anybody else? Any other ideas? Okay, I'll keep that topic kind of open in the background, but let's move on to this is a subject that KD8 IOK that he brought up. I think on the first net we did, and he wanted to talk about carrying firearms, carrying in traveling with your preps. So I want to talk about people that specifically, and I'm not talking about just bugging out with your RV or your four-wheel drive. I want to talk more about traveling. You're an RVer. A lot of us are RVers. A lot of us have, we're Jeepers, 4-wheel drive guys. We'll travel several hundred miles to several thousand miles. A lot of RVers will bug out of the north and go down to Arizona, go down to New Mexico for the winter, and kind of live in relative comfort. I want to talk about that. I'm going to let it drop. And let's see. We've got, wow, I got 6 nodes in the live stream. 34 people watching on the live, 34 people watching on the live stream. 6 nodes connected. And I'm going to go back over to my notes here. And I want to take check-ins. Do we have any local check-ins? Anybody local want to check in? How about Wires X? Wires X check-ins, either locally here in the valley or elsewhere.
N7GRS, Garrett.
All right, Garrett, I've got you in there. You're already in. Any other check-ins on Wires X? And finally, YSF. Any YSF check-ins? All right. Well, then let's move on here. Traveling preppers, traveling with your preps. I always recommend, even in my RV, I keep a stash of emergency foods, a mix of like Mountain House type stuff in those little pre-packaged packages, and a couple of MREs just in case. I keep medical supplies, first aid, bottled water. We always travel with bottled water in the motorhome, and then the weapons. This is a big one, and there's traveling through different states. It's like traveling through different countries. Different places have much different rules. And one of the big things that I kind of wanted to go through is we have 26 states in this country have some version of constitutional carry, which constitutional carry, if you don't know what that is, that means the Second Amendment is your carry permit. You don't need to go ask permission again from the state government for permission to carry your firearm, and that is usually concealed or open carry. So anyway, I'm going to move this over so I could kind of see. I've got to move things around so I could see them, guys. And I'm going to move this over here so I could see it. And I want to start at the top. Alabama. Alabama has had permitless carry since 2023. Alaska since 2003. For anyone 21 21 or older. Arizona, constitutional carry since 2010 for anyone 21 and older. Arkansas since 2013, and it looks like, yeah, and that is, wow, I don't want to go into their whole thing. It's a little bit convoluted. Florida now has permitless carry since July of 2023 for anyone 21 and older who can legally possess a firearm and can carry a concealed handgun in the state of Florida. And it's concealed carry only, no open carry. Georgia, permitless carry since 2022. Indiana, constitutional carry since 2022. Idaho, since 2016, and since this is an Idaho concentric deal, we'll spend a little bit more time. They have had additions in 2019, 2020. Any U.S. citizen 18 or older or a member of the armed forces who can legally possess a firearm under state law can carry concealed in Idaho without any type of permit. That is also open carry here in Idaho. Iowa since 2021, Kansas since 2015, Kentucky from 2019, Louisiana has limited. Bye, hun.
Okay.
I can't talk to you because I'm on the net. Mrs. K6UDA just left the room. Louisiana has a limited to Louisiana residents with military service. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's kind of okay. They've got a big thing. Maine since 2015, Mississippi since 2015, Missouri constitutional carry since 2017, Montana since 1991, and then statewide became effective 2021. Nebraska since 2023, New Hampshire since 2017. I'm going to let it drop. North Dakota since 2023, Ohio since 2022, Oklahoma since 2019, South Dakota 2019, Tennessee 18 and older since 2021, and they concealed or open carry in Tennessee. Texas since 2021 for 21 and older. Utah since 2021, 21 and older, concealed without a permit. Vermont since, now get this, my friends, since 1791. Not 1991, 1791. I love that. Anyone under or anyone over 18. That just did my heart good. West Virginia, 2016, permitless carry for U.S. citizens or legal residents. over 21 years of age, 18 if they're in the military. Wyoming, since 2011, anyone over 21 and over. And that looks like that's the list. And I'm going to move back to my notes here. Hang on. Now we move to the other side of the spectrum. And I'm kind of an expert on California gun laws since I used to enforce the laws in California, and I was also subject to the laws in California. So I still keep up on California. And I know Doug, DUG, also in the same boat I was in, and he's still in the People's Republic there of California. California has had some new things happening thanks to Judge Benitez down in the 9th District has recently ruled both in the Miller v. Bonta, which is the California assault weapons ban. The assault weapons ban has been ruled unconstitutional, but that hasn't stopped the Ninth Circuit or Ninth Circus from staying Judge Benitez's injunction. And also Duncan v. Bonta, which is the magazine ban in California, which if us Americans and the rest of America travel to California because we've got family there or because you want to go see the ocean, and it's a beautiful place. The landscape is gorgeous in California. I can't deny that, even though I hate going there. Excuse me, and I'm going to let it drop for a second. Those laws, even now, after both of those, the assault weapons ban and the magazine ban in California have been ruled unconstitutional at the federal level. They are being appealed by the state of California, and they're in front of the Ninth. The Ninth always sides with the state of California and is the most overturned federal district appeals court in the country. And I have no doubt they'll figure out some way to side with California in the end. But guys, if you're in California, you're going to have to be patient. I'm sure both of those are going to be overturned, or they're not going to be overturned. They are going to be found unconstitutional by the Supreme Court. It's probably going to take another 4 to 5 years before it makes its way all the way to the Supreme Court. Let's see. California has very recently, and it goes into effect in January, made a new law because now they have been forced by the federal government and by case law to basically be a shall issue state. Everywhere in the country is now a shall issue state, not a may issue, but they are going to have to issue CCWs because of Bruin and Heller, because of the Bruin and Heller cases. Wow. I feel like the armed scholar for a second here. Hang on. California has now instituted a new law, or they're instituting it, called SB 2. And part of SB 2 is there's sensitive places that you can't carry your CCW. This includes all public buildings and permitted public events. So any kind of a riot or protest that has any kind of a permit attached to it, including a Second Amendment permitted public event, you're forbidden from carrying your CCW. All areas under the control of an airport authority. That is including small airports like the Auburn Airport, a Sacramento Executive Airport, any other smaller airports, if they're under the authority of the public airport authority, whatever, you can't carry concealed. Public transportation and certain private transportation. So no buses, no trains, no light rail, anything like that. Bars and restaurants, because nothing bad ever happens in a bar or a restaurant where you would need to protect yourself. Daycares and childcare facilities, including their parking lots, playgrounds and parks, again, because nothing bad ever happened in a playground or a park. State parks that are under the control of Fish and Wildlife. And I imagine that also includes while you're hunting, if you're on state lands, I guess. Gaming establishments, stadiums, libraries, amusement parks, and museums, churches, and houses of worship, because no terrorist organization has ever attacked a church or a house of worship. And you should never have to protect yourself in any of those places. Banks and their parking lots. And all private commercial property without specific permission of the property owner. So basically, California has figured out a way to do away with the Second Amendment and CCWs post-Bruin. But I'm sure in 5 or 10 years that'll be overturned also. I'm going to open it up now to comments, to suggest. Hang on. Okay, I think I might have dropped out. I'm going to open it up to comments and whatever to the group. Anybody?
KJ7RAR.
Terry, go ahead.
I think a good question to ask the folks is, if we're in a bug out situation, do you think you would give a rip what the law is? Are you going to carry a gun no matter what, no matter where? And you did cut out for a few minutes there in your last part. But as being a former pastor in California, I carried a gun even when I preached, and my folks were welcome to carry one. So I think a lot of churches will ignore it, because churches have been the target lately. Like about 1,000% increase in attacks. So you don't hear about that in the news. But yeah, I'm curious to see what other people would have to say regarding if there's a bug out situation and you have to bug out. Are you going to, even think about whether it's legal or not, or are you just going to do it? That's my question. KJ7RAR.
Yeah, really good points. First of all, on the bug out situation, if the rule of law is kind of, I mean, if we're in a situation where we've had some kind of a economic or societal collapse, and there's figuratively no more law enforcement, and then I mean, then it doesn't matter what the laws say, because there's no law enforcement. I am talking specifically right now about people that are traveling, and we still have the rule of law. We still have everything that's in place as it is right now. But you travel as a course of, vacationing, or you're a snowbird, whatever situation you like to travel. Now, as far as places of worship, when I was in California and I used to teach CCWs, and I used to teach more advanced tactics with another friend, we had come up with a plan, and we had in the Sacramento region, we had all the clergy from like almost every church and synagogue and everything in the area kind of on board, and we were developing a program where they were going to have their own first response teams made up of parishioners who were a lot more trained up than most people. And that was going to be their go-to, or their first line of defense. And then California came out and started in with this: you can't carry in a place of worship. And that's been in effect officially, the official thing in California for a few years now. So I don't know. One of the things, and I'm going to let it drop here. I used to pack my patrol rifle, which is an AR-15, just a standard AR. I used to pack that in my motorhome when I would travel, and because I was a California resident and I had a registered assault weapon, and I don't use that term, California does. And I actually still have the paperwork, but it's probably no good because I don't live in California anymore. I used to carry that in the motorhome with me. I used to carry that with me as kind of a get-home tool in that worst-case scenario. But now, people that live in free states, you got to understand what they've got going in California is so convoluted. It is so messed up that almost nobody can comply with everything that they've got on the books right now. It's kind of crazy. So if you are going to California, if you are planning on taking your battle rifle with you, or you're taking your Glock 17 or your 365 with the 17 round mags, just be cognizant of your going into the lion's den. And it can get very ugly out there. it can. I'm going to open it up for more questions, comments, or anything, and then I'll read a couple of the comments coming in on the live stream, and then we'll call it a net. Are you guys having a good time?
W60.
Go ahead, Doug.
Yeah, regarding your church's places of worship in California, yes, everything you said is true. However, if you do have a security team and you get the owner's permission, the church's permission to carry, you can legally carry on private property.
Okay, very good to know. Now, under this new SB2, under those same circumstances, because it specifically now says churches and places of worship, and it doesn't have any exemptions in there, none that I could see. You being in the same business I was in, and you still being there, what say you?
If there's a new one, I'm looking at one that's for 2019, and if the new one is coming up, I heard the same thing, but I thought it had the same exemptions that the previous law had. I'll have to check into that.
Okay, yeah, this one supposedly goes into effect January 1st of 2024, and I did not see an exemption for places of worship at all.
I will do some research for.
Thank you, sir. Terry, KJ7RAR. I don't know if you wanted to, I mean, Terry, I'm not going to, I guess it's no secret, at least here. Terry is a local pastor here. He's been a pastor for 40 years, and he was a pastor back in California. Terry, what did you folks in the clergy, what was the general consensus regarding being armed in church or being armed on church property?
Well, my last church when I was in California was in California, Redding, and the pastors were beginning to wake up to the assaults that churches were experiencing, and they were actually having security companies come and walk through the church and help them learn how to harden the building, etc. And so we had more and more becoming aware and willing to consider guns in the church. Our church, my last church was a country church, and if somebody would have snuck up on me, I could have been dead for a day before anybody knew it. So we had cameras. I carried, even when I was in my office during the week, I had a sign on the door that told people they were welcome to carry a gun, just make sure you hit what you shoot at. And so, to be honest, if I was still in California, I would still have it to where, as the pastor of the church, I okayed people to come in, whether the police or the government wanted it or not. I can't rip about what they care about. I'm more concerned with the people in the church not getting mowed down by somebody that doesn't care about the law. So they're waking up. Police pastors are actually getting ambushed and shot. So I think they're waking up. I had a friend of mine who was a pastor down in Sacramento, and he knew I carried, so we talked about it, and he actually got his permit, and he started carrying just outside of Sacramento, Fairfield, I think it was. So yeah, they're waking up.
That's good to hear that that the clergy is starting to wake up. Great comment here from Jeff on the on the live stream. Are there laws? Are the laws the same protecting your home or RV? And yes and no, Jeff. The laws are the same if you're parked in your RV. That is your home. That is whether it's your permanent home or your temporary home, that is your home. And the Fourth Amendment laws apply to you. No entry without a search warrant unless you give them permission or there's exigent circumstances or what is it? They're in hot pursuit. Man, when you're traveling in your motorhome, you have, well, you're now a vehicle, and the vehicle exception can be used, which the vehicle exception says, hey, anything in plain view, or if you have reasonable suspicion that a crime has been committed and that the fruits of that crime are evident, you can search the vehicle. But RVs are a little bit different. It's limited. That part is limited to areas where the driver can readily access. So you can't walk in as a cop. You can't walk into the side door of the motorhome and go search the back bedroom of the motorhome because you think the driver may have drugs or paraphernalia or contraband in that driver's area or that area that is accessible to the driver. And I don't know if that answers your question, but yes, if you're parked, definitely the search warrant thing comes into effect. Now, mind you, and I'm going to let it drop. If you're in a prohibited place under SB 2 in California, now some other people were talking about New York. I'm not an expert in New York. I know they're passing the same kind of draconian laws that are in California. They're all taking we're going to screw you guys because of the Bruin decision. But I'm not an expert in their laws. I have no doubt that a lot of these laws are going to be found unconstitutional at some point in time. The point in time, though, is it takes X amount of time for these things to wind their way through the courts. And with courts like the Ninth Circus, they'll extend this stuff out as long as they possibly can to keep these laws in effect. So I don't know what to say. My personal opinion, I'd rather be tried by 12 than carried by 6. Let's see. I'm gonna open it up for any other comments. Anything on any other comments that we've talked about today, or things that people would like to see covered in on another net.
K88IOK.
K88IOK, go ahead.
Yeah, Bob. So one thing I wanted to discuss, back to the travel, and I apologize it's taken me so long to get in. I've tried a couple times and you haven't heard me. The biggest issue that I have, I am now in my RV more than my residence. I travel a lot, spending my winters down in Arizona starting this year. Plan on taking long travel back and forth between Arizona and Michigan. And what I'm finding is I'm struggling to figure out what would be the best preps, because I obviously don't have enough room to bring everything that I have at home with me. And I'm essentially an RV liver almost full time. So I'm struggling with that. I agree with the MREs and primary and secondary weapons. I'm also concerned with leaving all of my critical stuff so far away, and just wondering if anybody has any ideas on condensing things or what they feel is more important when you are full-time in an RV versus just going on a vacation for 2 weeks or a month.
That is a great question. And my opinion is when you're in your RV that much out of the year, or you're, let's say you spend 6 months out of the year. Let's just say 6 months out of the year. And you sound like you might be more like 8 months out of the year. I would equip my RV as if that is my primary residence. I would bring, to me, water filtration, my primary medical kit, enough food to last you as long as you think is necessary, and you might have to adjust the type of food, or if you have lots of number 12 cans of stuff at home, you might have to take a couple of those number 12 cans, put them in bags or into Mylar and seal it up to reduce the bulk. And I think like a small apartment or a tiny house, an RV, bulk is going to be your biggest enemy. So I think if you repackaged a lot of that stuff, you would be surprised how much you'll be able to get in there. The other thing I would suggest is good water filters, a good Berkey type water filter, and maybe some hand pump stuff that you could go into a creek and get a gallon of water out of. Those are the big things that I would think. Ammo's going to be your killer because it's really, really heavy, and to carry lots of ammo there's no way around it. You're going to have to carry the minimum, and as far as your weapons, again, you're back to what's the minimum amount the minimum amount and type and ammo that is functional for you. So, any other comments? Any answers for the traveling for the traveling prepper.
And I also wanted to touch on one of the other challenges, which can also be kind of fun, is the decision. Do you try to make it back to your residence in an SHTF situation, or instead do you plan on doing, figuring out where a bug out location would be? An example, currently I'm in an RV resort with 1,200 other sites. I don't know that I necessarily want to be with 1,200 other quote-unquote strangers, and it's also harder to develop the local community in this type of atmosphere, like what we've been talking about on this net for the last few weeks. So just different challenges to think about, and my wife and I are trying to kind of make fun of it and or turn it into a fun thing, I should say, not make fun of it, but try to turn it into a fun thing of figuring out what would we do, where would we go, how would we wage the battle to survive for any period of time while we're waiting for something to settle, and or do we challenge the drive all the way back, which would be unreasonable at this juncture at 2,400 miles away.
Yeah, good questions. And I saw K7CAN. He keyed up and lost the battle. So K7CAN, you still in there?
I am. I would come full doubles. Take another trailer with you with the essentials.
So there you go. There's another option, is to get, a little tag along trailer that you could put more of your preps or more of your stuff into. That's a really good question. You're in a place where people automatically have less resources at their disposal in an RV park. Most of the people are transitory. They're not there with all of their primary stuff. When things go wrong, I think I would be looking to get out of Dodge pretty quickly if I could. It kind of also depends upon what it is. If it's that big EMP, your vehicle may not be running. And if it's not running, you're stuck where you're at. 2,400 miles from home, that's a long haul. I keep up on the news. I keep up on what's going on around me, not because I'm some sort of a news junkie, but I believe in having good situational awareness, and I want to understand if there's something going on in the world that is close to precipitating some sort of an attack or an event. Obviously things like 9/11 happened, and none of us in the civilian world were ever aware that was on the horizon. But some of us were thinking about other things before 9/11. I had always kind of anticipated what would happen if some guy hijacked a propane truck or a gas truck and decided they were going to drive it into the state capitol. This was when I was a cop in California, or whatever. What other things could they do? Could a terrorist do to cause a terrorist event? There's so many different things, but I call it reading the tea leaves. And crap. Okay, Wires X is playing games with me. I called it reading the tea leaves and knowing when to get out of Dodge. Having that good idea, listening to the hair on the back of your neck when the spidey senses start going off. And you go, no, that's not really what it feels like. Listen to the hair on the back of your neck. Listen to your gut. If it's telling you it's time to bug out, maybe it's time to bug out. Maybe it's time to get out of that situation. This is really where this conversation should have been going from the first place. But these were things that I never even really considered. So thank you. Any other comments?
I have a quick comment about K6.
K6SAL. Go ahead.
So I was just listening to that, and if I'm living in my RV or I bugged out in my RV and I'm towing my Jeep, I think if I seen a group of people camping out there, or other RVs out, say out in the desert or wherever they're located, I would first take a good look at them, and if they're flying a Biden flag, that's probably not a good idea to go in there. But if there's a Trump flag or an American flag, it's a good chance
Sal.
You can meet up with some other people with your way of thinking. K6.
Yeah, that's that's a good indicator. Is start looking for like-minded people who can help you, whom you might be able to help. I think once something happens, once an event happens, and let's just say the EMP or the societal collapse, and things are starting to break down. You can't go to the Piggly Wiggly and pick up more supplies because the just-in-time status of the supermarket is done. There's no more deliveries coming in, and people are now starting to panic, starting to get they're starting to panic, and they're going into starvation and survival mode. I don't think I would even trust people who are flying the right flag. That time, that ship has sailed to me at that point. But as long as times are good, I think you've got a chance of making an ally. I don't know how much I'd trust people that you don't really trust from the get-go. There's very few people on this planet that I trust, that I really trust. Other comments? I think, man, I think we're getting, man, it's been over an hour. What a great subject. Does anybody have other subjects they want to take up in future future nets. Okay, well, I'll come up with something. Any other closing comments? Anybody have any comments on anything else? And then I'm going to go ahead and just, we're going to shut this one down today.
K7 IYA checking in from Rupert this morning. You copy?
A firm, KD7 IYA from Rupert. Great signal, and thanks for checking in. Anybody else? Any other comments? Anything for the net?
Little relay, and it wasn't wanting to work all the time. I gave it a swat, and it must have cleaned it off or something.
N7RBP. Thanks for checking in. Anything for the net?
Well, I got some updates on the 710 and also the FCDX10. They came out November 1. Where do you find out about that? Just that the manufacturers on the manufacturer's site. I've never checked the version of software on this 9700. I would like to do that.
All right, and I just uncovered that so you guys on the live stream could see that. And okay, it was KD8 IOK. He says pulling doubles is what he does, is what we do. Great suggestion. And he was trying to solicit participation. Guys, this is a fantastic net. And I want to thank everybody for participating. This is a lot of fun, and this is what the net is all about, is helping each other, helping ourselves, getting ideas. If you have questions, if you're listening and you go, wow, I just don't know where to start, or I don't know where to go from where I am, this is the place to ask it. You know, there's more people here, and I am no expert in prepping. I am no expert in survival. I know a few things, and there's a lot that I don't know. So with that, any other comments? Okay, my friends, I want to thank you guys for participating in the net. This has been very fun, very informative. And if you've been on the net and you want to see what is on the YouTube live stream, especially the comments, you can go back and play the live stream back and just look at the comments. There's a lot of great comments in there, and most of them I haven't even been able to get to. So with that, I am going to turn Wires X, the K6UDA repeater, the KB7 DFP repeater, the KB7 SQS repeater and YSF back to all of their normal operation. Thank you guys. We'll see you next week. I'm K6UDA 73. Okay. I think that's it. I think we're out and everything is good. Yeah. Guys are starting to drop off on the Wires X side there. And thank you guys so much for being part of this. I'll catch you guys next week too. I'll catch you guys during the week and next week. We'll see. I'm Bob, K6UDA 73, my friends.